Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Today I'm going to go over how to draw a Halloween skull. So, there's different kinds of skulls. I'm going to go over a Halloween one, which is basically a regular skull. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go over really just kind of like how to generally draw a general skull, just so you know how to draw one made for the Halloween season. I would think very much of the construction of the skull. And the construction of a skull is, well, we'll go over that. I usually start with an oval shape. I'm going to make it a little bit 3/4. I'm going to draw a center line, for the center of the head, because the skull is the basis of a human portrait, but we're not going to do that. And I usually think of it, I break up that oval into a kind of circle for the cranial section of the head, right? The cranium, where the brain is housed. And the front part of the jaw is the rest. But I usually think about it broken up in those terms. I'm using a green pencil here just because it's a pencil. It has nothing to do with the color in any way. I just want a temporary thing that I can move around. Again, I divide the front into thirds. That's the same as anything else, any other portrait that I do. And usually when I divide it into thirds, it's to find general ballpark proportions. Doesn't mean I'm going to actually use those exact thirds, So the top of the head's turning. There's no hairline right for the skull, but where the top of the head turns, that's where I mark my hairline. That's what I call the hairline. And then the brow, and then the bottom of the nose, and the bottom of the chin. And that's an approximation. I can approximate where the eye cavities are going to be, stuff like that. Where the nose is going to be, the nasal cavity. The mouth, where the rows of the teeth are going to be. Alright. Anyways. I'm going to go into the just general shapes of the skull. And the eye sockets are really just very square in nature, and the nose is very triangular. The nasal cavity, is very triangular, so remember that. I'm going to pull in the zygomatic arch. Dimples of the cheek there. And I'm going to pull up brow line, pulling up the skull. Don't forget the back of the skull. And then I'm going to, maybe pull down. You can draw it without the jaw as well. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw it without the jaw. I approximated that just to kind of get the idea of the proportion, but I'm going to draw it without the jaw because it looks pretty cool without the jaw. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the flat side of this ink, this pen, and I'm going to throw some dark to emphasize. Well, when you throw something in darkness, especially behind it, what you're doing is you're trying to bring that shape forward because of the contrast. Usually, when you're drawing a picture, the darkness recedes and the light comes forward, but I've seen the reverse as well. Darker shapes come forward in line art, you know what I mean? But in this particular drawing, the way I'm trying to do it, I'm trying to bring that white shape forward. And I'm just trying to throw some stylization into the black shapes that I throw behind this. Try to make it look maybe like ink or something, like more like a loose brush. But I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna go into eye sockets themselves and kind of shade those in as well. Shade in the nose area. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab the smaller edge of this and I'm going to kind of trace out the teeth. There's still the upper row of teeth are there. Row of teeth. Maybe some small details on the side of the head. Anyways, and that's about it. You can leave those lines or you can erase them. You know what I mean? It's very optional. You can erase them if you want. Should I do that? Let me do that right now. Especially these down here. I'll erase them to the extent that I can because this is colored pencil. Sometimes some of that stuff doesn't come out. You know, normally I wouldn't have done it that dark. I just did it that dark so that I can, you can see it on camera. I would have done it with a lighter pencil and erased that. Alright guys, thanks a lot, and that's a Halloween skull. Halloween drawings. See you later.